My name is Alicia Shapiro with AInews.com, and welcome to another episode of our Driving Tomorrow Conversations with Industry Leaders, where we explore the latest developments and newest innovations in the world of artificial intelligence. Today, I'm excited to speak with Dr. Aitor Muguruza, newly appointed Chief AI Officer at Kaiju Worldwide and a distinguished expert in quantitative finance and artificial intelligence. With a background that includes a PhD in mathematics, several influential publications, and recognition as a rising star by Risk Magazine, Ador brings a wealth of knowledge to Kaiju's mission of redefining capital markets through predictive AI. And if for those of you who don't know, Kaiju Worldwide is at the forefront of using AI to transform financial markets, developing advanced self learning technologies that enhance decision making and minimizing human error. As Chief AI Officer, Ador would be responsible for driving innovation within Kaiju's unique AI ecosystem, and his experience in both industry and academia enables him to approach AI with a blend of scientific rigor and practical insight. In today's interview, we'll explore Ador's vision for AI's role in financial markets, the challenges and opportunities within the fast evolving field, and how Kaiju's intellectual property is setting new standards in AI driven finance. So, thank you for joining us today, Ador.
Hello, Alicia. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to have you here. I'm really looking forward to our talk today. First of all, congratulations on your recent appointment as Chief AI Officer of Kaiju Worldwide. That's exciting.
Very exciting. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been in the company for nearly 6 years now. So, yeah, it's a huge recognition from me, but also for the company as a growing and this culture of letting our own resources grow within the company.
Yeah, exactly. Could you share what excites you the most about this new role and how it aligns with Kaiju's mission?
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest change that Kaiju has undergone in the last 3 to 4 years, I would say, is like this full commitment to AI. So we want to build AI predictive systems for trading in capital markets, and being part of that group, and especially in a leadership role, it's very exciting. It's
Mhm.
also an exciting time for the space, right? We've just
Yeah,
gone through this tsunami of LLMs, and now everyone talks about ChatGPT when 4 years ago it was nothing. It's a blend of exciting, also finding our place in this new ecosystem of AI in the market and navigating these challenges and bringing value to the business for Kaiju.
nice. That's great. And Kaiju Worldwide focuses on predictive AI to transform the financial markets, like we were saying. How
Mhm.
does Kaiju's AI powered ecosystem enhance the decision making and reduce the human error in the financial field?
So I think you said two very key points there. I think one is predictive AI and the second one is decision making. So I think
Yes.
like predictive AI is something that maybe people is not so used to because LLMs and generative AI has taken center stage in most of media. But predictive AI is basically, let's say, the counterpart of that AI. And what we try to do is solve very specific tasks where we try to predict or forecast some sort of trend. The second thing you mentioned was decision making, which I think it's key. Like for any diligent investment process, clear, defined decision making pipeline, it's extremely important. And that's what Kaiju has been building over the last years, basically leveraging AI, but at the same time, building a human recognizable decision making process. So I think blending these two ideas together is how we've built this ecosystem, and this is what we are trying to push. And then it's, I think, our job as well to tell people and explain to people what's the differences and why basically we think predictive AI plus the decision making process is the right solution for finance as opposed to different use cases for generative AI.
Right. I know financial markets in general can be a touchy subject with some people because they don't understand how AI can get involved. But I imagine it's more powerful to have the predictive AI data and just this extra information to make those decisions.
Mhm.
And it would be a more effective decision that would be profitable later on. Is that right?
Yeah, the place where AI shines is when you have an environment with a lot of data and basically you're trying to find some inefficiency in the market or you're trying to improve efficiency
Okay.
by narrowing down the problem. So I think this is a very sort of natural environment for finance. There's a lot of data. People can argue, is this enough data? But generally speaking, there's a lot of transactions happening in the
Yeah.
market every single second. So it's a good environment for AI when you fix your right objective. So let's say an investment objective, trying to forecast 1 day ahead returns or volatility 1 day ahead. That's where really AI shines because of these short-term movements in the market are very data-driven and not so rational as a long-term investor would look at, I don't know, like
Okay.
balance sheets and sort of growth and value discussion. So this is a sort of natural environment for AI and financial markets, and that's where I would say most of the people is trying to apply the technology, including us.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great way to look at that. And part of Kaiju's innovation that it brings to the table is its synthetic portfolio management technology.
Mhm.
How does AI play a role with this technology and what unique benefits does it bring to the portfolio management?
Mhm. Yeah, so these synthetic portfolio managers are basically the decision-making process in a can, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
So we've created different investing ideologies within these portfolio managers. So one of them could
Mm.
be looking for growth, another for value, one for mean reversion, another one for market neutral. And basically, we've built a AI-driven decision-making pipeline on each of them, and we basically serve them as if they were your human portfolio managers. So that's the ecosystem or the product that we've been focusing on lately. But obviously, the expertise at Kaiju comes from building these different blocks that you need to actually achieve that decision-making process. So
Yeah.
this, for example, could be one component is signal detection. So basically go to the market, scrap the data, find repetitive patterns that are profitable. Once you have that, then there's another module where you leverage AI as well. Given these signals, construct to
Mhm.
me a portfolio that is well balanced and satisfies an investor's constraints. There's also risk management, there's execution. So a lot of different components
Wow.
that we put all in a can. And SPM is the concept that we
Mhm.
chose for that. But yeah, this is the core business for Kaiju.
That's great. And you have a background in the quantitative research and machine learning. What do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities in applying AI to financial markets?
I think the risk management aspect of it is the most challenging one because you have to construct these algorithms in a way that they make financial sense, of course.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we are in a moment where we have very strong tools, right? AI is a very strong tool and can be applied to almost anything. At the
Hmm.
same time, not anyone is able to understand the theory of economics, the theory of mathematics, financial
Right.
mathematics, and blend the two together so that you construct diligent solutions for clients. And I think this is where the most exciting research is going to
Mm.
happen, basically blending the two together, finding AI constructs that are practical, novel, more especially like safe. This is the key thing,
Mm.
right? Like we want to be able to deliver safe portfolios, safe investment processes. And I'm sure regulators sooner or later will also play a role in this. There's already a AI Act on the go in different countries. Some countries have already written one. It's going to be a very interesting space and collaboration between different parties, academia as
Yeah,
well is going to play a huge role, especially on the regulation side of things. But yeah, it's I think safety first. It's a good one-liner here.
that's great. And so Kaiju's portfolio of intellectual property includes advanced self-learning technologies. How does this intellectual property support Kaiju's development of the cutting-edge AI solution? And what advantages does it offer in the competitive financial tech landscape?
So the concept of self-learning is very interesting in AI because it's tied to the concept of evolution or keeping improving, right? This concept
Mhm.
that it never gets old, it always keeps fresh. This is very appealing for financial markets because every now and then, every 2 years at least, there's some sort of financial crash, something we've never seen before, and it becomes a
Yeah.
new reality. So it's very appealing for finance to use these algorithms that are able to tackle those use cases. And at the same time, in financial markets, what happens a lot is that what used to work in the past doesn't work in the future. And this has been a huge conundrum for many asset managers. It's you have some strategy that works, you have some portfolio manager that is really doing a really good job, and suddenly along many years, this sort of decays. So AI is here to basically leverage new incoming information, make those teeny updates as new data comes in. You might not see them week to week, day to day, but on the long run, they will basically change and adapt. And this, I think, is extremely powerful and extremely appealing for many, not just finance, of course, but many industries.
Have you ever seen where the AI suggests new strategies, or is that something that you guys don't really do?
We don't generally like a black box approach, which would be something like maximize my returns, find whatever, because we
Mm-hmm.
find it difficult to productize to a client because a client likes
Gotcha.
to understand what's the drawback of this strategy, where's the risk, right? So
Oh,
that
right.
usually doesn't work very well unless you have some sort of very committed client or maybe a prop trading shop
Mm-hmm.
who's trading their own capital. But generally speaking, we try to fit some ideology, build predictive systems on top, and then this thing, our strategies tell a story, like tell,
Mm-hmm.
but not just on the upside, but also on the downside, so that clients understand where's the risk, when a strategy is expected to perform, and when it's expected to underperform, which is key for management.
Okay, great. That makes sense. And alongside your role at Kaiju, you teach postgraduate students at Imperial College in London. How does your academic work inform your approach to AI-driven financial products at Kaiju?
That's a very good question. I think talent is at the core of everything we do in research. So
Mm-hmm.
I completed my PhD at Imperial 6 years ago. And right after that, I joined Imperial as a visiting lecturer. So I used to keep my connections, my old supervisor from the PhD, and also other people in the department. And also I had the opportunity to meet a lot of new talent coming into the program and also postdocs in the department. So it keeps a very fresh perspective on what's going on, what's both in like more mature research, which would be the
Mm-hmm.
department area. And that's interesting from a business value perspective because it allows you to understand what are the current trends, how can I apply them to the business, is there something interesting here? And then also the other side, which is I teach to young people. So it's interesting to understand what's in their mind these days, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it used to be that it's one of the funny things I find about new generations is that when I was studying, sort of compute power was not a thing, right? So if something
Right.
didn't run in your computer, you would think it through, try something else, and then still try it in your computer. These days, everyone is like, well, you just go to the cloud and you spin off 20 CPUs. It's so easy. So it's just
Yeah,
interesting how generations think about problems or no problems. Yeah, it keeps me
exactly.
refreshed. Yeah.
Right. And before we wrap up, I'd like to ask a couple of lighter questions so our audience can get to know you a little better. When you do step away from your work, what are some activities or hobbies that you are passionate about?
So these days, I just became a dad. My baby's taking a lot of time. I
Yeah.
do going for a run. I used to
Hmm.
run half marathons, but recently I've slowed down a bit, but
Yep.
I hope to keep up running. And I also like reading, mostly science fiction and fantasy. And yeah, just hanging out with my wife. And we also have a dog, just hiking around. I'm very outgoing. I really need to spend time outside over the weekend.
Yes. Me too. I like being outside. It's
Mhm.
something just refreshing and grounding and
Exactly.
yeah.
It's something I tell to my colleagues sometimes when they're stuck. It's just go out. Stop thinking about this. Go out, have a drink or walk or run or do something else. Just that sometimes that's the best way to
Yeah,
move
it
forward.
shifts your perspective a little and takes you out of your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. And for those who are aspiring to be chief AI officers, what skills or experiences would you recommend they focus on to succeed in this role?
That's a very tough question. I'm not sure I know to full extent what are the requirements. I would say AI is a very active space, and at the same time, it's a bit threatening to some people
Mm,
because
mhm,
they might feel like AI is here to replace them, or along those lines, it doesn't usually come very friendly. So I would say try to make a case for AI as a productivity tool. Find some sort of inefficiencies in your business that you're willing to improve because you think there's a use case for AI. I think always make sure that you include all the stakeholders that need to be there. Don't try to silo AI into this new group built in a company and trying to solve all the problems. I think first of all, it's finding that sort of environment where everyone
mhm.
feels included in the
Yeah.
AI project. And then in terms of background, I would say there's a strong need to understand the business or better said, the technicalities around the business so that
Mhm.
you can apply and understand successfully how AI can improve your business or add value. And yeah, for anybody looking to be a chief AI officer, some academic background, I guess it's in order, or at least keeping up with the new trends, and which is challenging given the
Yeah.
state of how things evolve. But yeah, those I think would be my pieces of advice.
I love that. That's great advice. Thank you so much, Aitor, for joining us today and sharing your insights. It's been a real pleasure talking with you and learning more about the work you do at Kaiju. And congratulations again on your new appointed role. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And for those of you who want to learn more about Kaiju Worldwide, you can visit their website, kaiju, kaiju.ai. Keeping you connected to tomorrow. Today, this is Alicia with AInews.com.